Yeah, so I've worked with Carlos for since 2017. So it's been well, it's been 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, it's gonna go into my fifth race season now that I've been working with Carlos. And you know, it's been a great journey. I've started racing when I was 4 years old. I started karting. Obviously, my family was involved in racing before, so I have you know, a big family that understands a lot about racing. Well, the year I was born actually was the year my grandfather stopped racing. It was in '96 because he had an accident and broke his back. But my two uncles were racing when I was growing up. So it was Max Papis, who's an Italian racing driver. He's married to my mom's sister, and then my mom's cousin, which is Christian Fittipaldi, and they both raced in Formula One. But when I was growing up, I was watching them race here in the States, racing IndyCar, the Grand Am Series, which does the Daytona 24 Hours. And I would go to a lot of the Daytona 24 Hours, which I loved as a kid because I would stay basically the whole night awake just watching cars going around, and I didn't need to sleep. And I was in a motorhome, so that's kind of what gave me the, I don't know, the feeling of wanting to start racing. So when I was 4, I got my first go-kart, and I started from there.
Yeah.
And when I went from karting to cars, it was in 2011 when I started racing NASCAR. That's when I moved from Miami to North Carolina, as all the NASCAR teams are here. And when I won a late model championship in 2011, I got the chance to race in Europe in 2013, and then
Yes.
we've been here in Europe, racing in Europe ever
Yeah.
since. Yeah. But here I'm on the simulator now. This is the simulator seat.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can here. I was trying to get it out of the way. I like that helmet.
This is Pietros Helmet when you won the World Championship, right?
2007.
17.
It's a replica helmet, the same design. The painter that paints my helmet, his name is Alan Mosca, and he does those mini helmets too. He's been painting my helmet since I started racing. My brother as well. He used to paint. Him and his father used to paint my grandfather's helmet, Ayrton Senna, Nelson Piquet. So all the Brazilians, they paint over there. He's like the legend painter, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone there because they think that his paint makes them, like, you know, it gives that special thing that makes you go a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Obviously, it gave you a lot of luck when you most needed it. And
Yeah, I
it's
know
an
it was a
amazing gift.
that.
We have the pictures.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the track, the path to Formula One in a second, but I wanted to ask you, what would you share that is uh, something that most people don't know about you?
Well, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, one thing is I love video games. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I do play a lot of video games. I use it as something to have fun on the side and take my mind off of things. Because, you know, some people think of, you know, when they think about athletes, you know, it's always in the sport and doing things outside, but I actually like playing video games a lot. So
Yeah.
that's something maybe not everybody viewer knows about me, you know, because
No,
they always see me, you know, or doing something. But you know, a lot of the times on the weekends, I like to stay home and play some video games.
no, thank you. That's also something we discussed as part of your training, no? Because we're going to get into the
Yeah.
esports portion, but essentially, uh, do you think that is beneficial to play video games as part of the training?
Yeah, I think so. Removing racing games, right? Removing simulators.
Yeah.
So I play games sometimes, shooting games, Call of Duty,
All right.
games that everyone plays. I play games that my 10-year-old cousin plays, which is Fortnite,
Right.
and
So
like all his friends play.
it's more the community, right? For
Yeah,
the
I enjoy the game. I play with my friends. It helps, you know, take my mind off of things. And some of these games actually help with, you know, not racing games, but other games with reaction times and stuff.
right, right, right.
It it takes a lot of focus because it's everything is nowadays. It's at a high, you know, competition levels are very high in anything you're doing.
Yes.
So to be good, you have to really focus on it.
Yeah. You and I we discussed over the years the power of mantras. No, is there any
Yeah.
particular thought or quote or mantra that has helped you so far the most?
I don't know. There was one, but I don't think it. I think because I got it when I was uh, I got it when I was younger. There's two. Okay, there's one actually over here on my wall. I don't know if you see it. That's the one I printed. But that's something that we did together, and I still have it from 2017. It's still there.
Fantastic.
So that there, it's because we were going, racing for the championship in 2017. Always had the thing that the championship was going down to the wire. So it was very, high intensity, high pressure. And it was something that I was, trying to get better with was that I've always been good. But at that moment was the highest pressure I've ever felt because everything was on the line. The championship, my sponsorship for the next year, whether I was going to be able to continue racing or not. It all came down to that last race. And I had to win the championship. And, you helped me and we made this quote where it was kind of like a mantra where, I put it on my screensaver on my phone. I put it on next, I put it here where I was living in Italy. I put it in the bathroom, which is, I'm the best under pressure.
There you
go. So I would always tell myself, keep me going and to kind of make sure I, that kind of in my subconscious already engraved that I am the best under pressure. So when I get to that last race, I'm cool as a cucumber and I'm there doing what I know what to do,
Sure.
So that's one of the things that I learned with you. Another one is I don't know if this one makes sense, but in my head it does. It's when things get tough, the tough get going. So it's like I heard this from someone. So
of course.
Things get tough. And I see it. Another one too that links into this one is it's a privilege to have pressure because when you have a lot of high pressure, it means that very high level of competition.
Yes.
I both together. It's like brace the pressure, and when things get tough, the tough get going. So
no, from what you told me recently after your Formula One debut, all those three came to a point. All those three became true in life. And you had to put them to work. So your career today, I know you have some announcements this week. There are many good things happening for you, but within what you can share with us, basically, how does it look for 2021 and beyond?
Yeah, I'm excited for this year. I think last year was difficult because I was third driver with Haas, but because of the pandemic, Formula One wasn't testing the car. There was no test, so I wasn't able to drive the car. And I was supposed to race in Japan, but because of the pandemic, we couldn't travel, and the deal fell through. And I stayed sidelined for 9 months, and it was very difficult. And luckily, it wasn't the best circumstances, but I got my shot at Formula One, and I did a very good job and was able to show what I can do, and that opened some opportunities for me this year. I'm going to be continuing with Haas as the third driver, and as well, I'm announcing this week other racing programs I'll be racing. I can't say it yet, but I'm excited. Carlos, you already know what it is.
We can see that it's big. It's big.
Yeah. But later this week I'll be sharing it. I'm excited, and I think these opportunities it's going to be very important for me. I need to capitalize. And I think, like you said, when I had my Formula One chance, it's like everything came together. I had so many experiences along the year. I've had a career path that's been not very straight lined. I've been doing the best with the opportunities I've been given, and I was still able to reach my ultimate goal. And I think everything that happened throughout my life prepared me for that goal, whether it was winning the championships in the last race to prepare me for high pressure, whether it was racing under not the best circumstances when I had my broken legs in 2018 and I was racing an IndyCar. That prepared me for my Formula One debut because I wasn't racing in the best circumstances because it had been 9 months since I hadn't driven anything. Usually the most I stay without driving a race car would be I would say, very little amount of time, like 2-3 months. without driving a car.
Yeah.
So this time I 9 months without driving, and other than that as well, you know, it's very little preparation. I had a couple of days and I had to go straight in the car. So I think everything that happened throughout my, you know, like past couple of years prepared me for that moment. And that, you know, doing my debut in Formula One brought me these opportunities that will be in for this season.
Yes. So I was going to ask you about facing big challenges, and two of them happened during our collaboration. So broken legs, Formula One. No? How did one prepare you for the other?
Well,
Eh?
win the champion, high pressure,
Yeah,
broken legs, Formula One.
you're right. Exactly. How would you connect the dots in your evolution as I'm the best under pressure? Those three things, you know, that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more, you know, the evolution. I mean, obviously winning the championship that year, I mean, we prepared as much as we could. And that gave me the confidence that the way I prepared, I was able to win the championship the way we prepared together. It gave me everything I needed to win the championship. So I think that was important. That was, you know, gave me the confidence that what I'm doing is correct. We were able to get what we wanted to get done. We were able to accomplish it, which was win the championship in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2018, trying to, you know, perform at my best with a lot of adversity, which, you know, my legs weren't strong enough to hit the brake of the car, and I was taking a lot of painkillers and everything to race. But we're still able to maximize that situation with other tactics that we use, but we were still able to maximize it. And then I think putting it together when I did my debut in Formula One was all the routines we did that we adapted for each different situation. We combined them all, made the best scenario for my Formula One debut, and you know, made the best routine, the best strategy for each weekend. Not even for each practice session, then qualifying session, then race. Me and you, we talked beforehand. We set up the schedule the way we thought it was best in terms of when I do my warm up, when I do my mental training, the different, you know, sort of neuro linguistic exercises I do and visualization exercises I do before I get in the car. And this was everything that we started working on since 2017. So we're able to put everything together, find exactly over the years what got me into my peak performance, and then make it count when it was the most important moment.
Yes, from what you were sharing, I was getting this image in my head of a rope, like weaving. Things have been weaving and getting
Yeah,
tighter and tighter until it's indestructible, you know, in a way.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's, you know, for sure I can keep improving as a driver. I proved to myself that racing in Formula One, you know, I was racing with the top guys, and I was doing a great job and being more competitive than other guys racing there already for many more years. So that brought me even the confidence of like, you know, we're doing great. We're able to perform at the highest level, but I know that there's still more that we can improve and that we're going to keep working on.
Yes. Thank you. You know, you're all over my book, The Glass
Yeah.
is Full and a Half, because our story and your story in particular exemplify these four stages that I identify in the progression of someone who wants to reach a breakthrough, go beyond limitations and get to their goals, and then create a path for inspiring others. So the first
Yeah.
step is imagine, no? At which point did you get the sense that I can be a race car driver, I will be a race car driver? How did this image come into your imagination?
It's strange. It came naturally, but it came when I was very young. I think when I was 11, 12, I already knew in my mind that that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think because there was no other thing that really I had in terms of career paths. You know, I think a lot of people also struggle in the beginning when they're growing up. Like I know from a couple of friends, you don't know exactly what you want to do or what career path to go to, what college degree to get. And for me, I was lucky to have a sport that I loved from a very early age, that I was competitive in, and that I had opportunities. And I knew from the beginning, this, like since I was 11, 12, this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because it was around that age where it was still young. I think I'd say like 12, 13, but I started the like kids talk like this. When you're younger, you don't think about these things, but when you start getting at that age, kids start talking, oh, I want to do this and this. I want to become a dentist, or I want to become a policeman or a lawyer or something. And it was about that age where like you're not really talked about a lot, but just a little bit. And in my head, every time those conversations came up, I was like, yeah, but for me, I want to be a race car driver. And it was always like that, and it never changed.
Yeah, yeah. And the second stage is, okay, I have to become a race car driver. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of training and improvement. Who were your mentors? What was the guidance that you were getting to tell you I'm on the right path?
Who were the mentors? I would say, there was a couple. Obviously, my father is one. A good friend of mine and my main investor, Carlos Slim, was another as well. I would always call him, ask for advice, and when I decisions. This was like a bit later when I was around 16, 17 is when I really started speaking to him. You are another person, as well. Another key person. My uncle Max Pappas as well.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. My grandfather also, I would say, Christian. So I would say, there's a handful of people, but it's not many more than that. I would say that those are the key people that really helped when I really needed to, and when gave me a vision when it was a bit blurry.
Yes. Thank you. And the next step in the evolution is inspiring. So
Yeah.
there are many ways in which you inspire yourself first, no? Through your training and the validation that you get from these opportunities and overcoming all these challenges. But at the same time, now that you're more of a public figure, how do you get the sense that you're inspiring younger people? Do they tell you?
No, I do get messages and stuff, because me and my brother also we do a Twitch channel.
Yeah.
So we do live, and a lot of the people there, when they're watching, they send messages, and I think the biggest thing was, the message I was able to send out is kind of the perseverance is very important. And a lot of people had told me that, but every time you listen to someone saying it, you kind of, you never really believe it, until it kind of happens to you. And almost, I had a contract with Haas that started in, for the last season, beginning of 2020 till the end of 2020. But the last 3 races were in the Middle East. It was in 2 races in Bahrain, 1 in Abu Dhabi. And when you go, you needed to stay there for 3 weeks. And because my future with the team for the following season was uncertain, and I was looking at other opportunities, I almost didn't go to the last 3 races because I was saying, I cannot stay there 3 weeks at the end of the year when I could be meeting with other teams and having meetings and stuff to see other opportunities. So I almost didn't go. And actually, one of the team managers, his name's Peter Corolla. He's the team manager of Haas. He told me, because I was telling him, I might not go. I might need to ask permission from Gunther, because I was not doubting that I'd ever get a chance, but I was saying, I need to start working on other opportunities. And, he kind of looked at me and said, Pietro, go to the last 3 races. Like, you never know what can happen. Go to the last 3 races.
Right.
And I went. And then when obviously I was in the best circumstances because Roman had the crash.
Yeah.
He got out fine. It could have been a lot worse. But then the opportunity came. And I told myself, I said, man, it's unbelievable. Imagine if I wouldn't have gone. And that's the thing of, like, I stayed basically 2.5 years with the team, 3 years. Yeah. And 2 full years, and the 2 full years with the team. And I almost would have lost the chance of racing Formula One if I didn't go, because I didn't persevere and I didn't follow through with, the whole program that I had. So I think one of the important things I learned is that, you always, when you do something, you got to follow through all the way, because maybe at the last moment you'll get an opportunity. Or, you got to persevere to that last moment. You never know. If you already went 90% of the way, do the last 10%. Why go, why stop before that? So that's something that really opened my eyes. And you know, because it was difficult. It was 2 years with the team. That year I hadn't been racing because of the pandemic, so it was difficult, and I was, you know, anxious. I wanted to get you know, my program sorted for the following year. So I was like, I don't, I, you know, if I stay there for 3 weeks and I don't get a chance and I'm just there sitting around, I'm losing time to close another opportunity. So then, but then, you know, this team manager spoke to me and I said, "No, what? That's right. You got to follow through all the way, and you never know what can happen." And the opportunity came.
Yeah, that's a huge lesson for all of us. Our
Yeah.
friends who are
God,
executives, they know that in projects, the last 20% is the most difficult one. Just finish it off, and it might take longer, but also see it through, because you cannot be a
yeah,
perfectionist and you cannot expect magic. See it through because you committed, you know, and then the magic might happen then.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you can't see like the end result, but if you committed to something, you make sure you go all the way.
Yeah.
Maybe the end result will come, but you need to see it all the way. You know, you cannot just stop in the middle. So
Yes, yes. Also, I think that the teams in Formula One appreciate that, no? That you're ready
yeah,
to stay there.
and obviously I wouldn't have not gone if I didn't get permission from the team. But it was more because, you know, I was like, it's because the whole season ran late. Usually the Formula One schedule would finish a little bit earlier. The whole season ran late. It was like getting almost to Christmas time, and if I didn't have these meetings with the other teams before Christmas, I would lose another couple weeks because people go on holidays. So that's always almost like, you know, maybe I can't go because I
Yeah,
need to work on other things.
yeah.
But I ended up going. So it's crazy.
No, that's
Happened.
fantastic. So you got to sit in a Formula One car. Why don't you tell us
Yeah.
how does it feel? What makes it a peak experience that very few people can, you know, go through?
Well, for me, it's yeah, it was an amazing feeling. Because I had tested the car several times, right? I had tested the car several times,
Yeah,
but it was very different to race because obviously you go out, there's no fans because of the pandemic, but there was a lot of cameras. You know, you go out, there's cameras on you all the time. The whole team is there. There's that tense situation. I hadn't driven any race car for 9
yeah,
months. I hadn't driven the car for a year, and the first time out, I'm going out straight for the first practice. And you know, my head, I had to get used to the speed. You know, because usually when you go out with the car, you go out, you do a lap, and then you come straight back in the box. In the first practice, you do that because then the mechanics check the car, see if there's any leaks. So I did that out lap, and I came in, and when I came in, I was like, "That holy crap! I don't know how I'm gonna get used to this
right.
because like the so quick, like the brain takes a little bit
Yeah,
to
organizing
switch to
chaos. Yeah,
like go quick. I went like maybe for a couple seconds full throttle, and I was already like my like everything. My vision is still getting used to the speed. Then when I went out, I was taking it step by step, and by the end of the session, I was up to speed basically already. And but for me, the most amazing thing is in the second race. Um, in the second race, it was Abu Dhabi, right?
mm-hmm.
And when you start the race, you go out of the box, out of the garage, take the car on the grid, you park on your grid spot, and then they have like 20 minutes that they do national anthem, they do the presentations. And at that time, I uh, stopped the car, I got out, and I had a physio with me. Her name was Faith. It was the team's physio, and she was helping me,
Mm-hmm.
orientating me where to go. So she's like, "You need to go to the front of the grid. They're gonna do national anthem." And then I arrived to the front of the grid, and I get there, and over there, there's on the floor like a plaque with my number, the flag, and my last name, which is actually over here. I don't know if you see it.
Yes, yes.
You see it says
Yeah.
one and fit. And this was on the floor. And I arrived there, I stand, then there's I think it was like someone from the royal family of the UAE next to the trophy there in front, and I'm standing. They start the national anthem. I look to my left, there's Daniel Ricciardo, there's Sebastian Vettel. I look to my right, there's Kimi Raikkonen, there's Lewis Hamilton, and it's like all these guys that I used to watch on TV, and I look at it and I'm like, I can't believe, like, holy crap, I'm one of the 20 guys you know, racing here in Formula One, racing with these legends. I'm here, you know, racing with them, doing the national anthem. From here, we're going to walk back to the car, put on our helmets and go racing. I was like, this is unbelievable. So for me, that's kind of like when it, you know, clicked in my head. It's like I made it, you know, I'm one of the 20 here racing, and one of the most difficult sports to get an opportunity. And that for me was an amazing feeling. And you know, the first race I felt a bit more pressure because everything was very new. But the last race in Abu Dhabi, you know, doing that whole grid presentation, when usually you're most nervous because you want to start the race, I was actually feeling very relaxed and really enjoying the moment.
Yes.
It was a crazy. I was like, wow, I made it all the way here. It's so difficult to get to. We're able to make it, you know, and make it in an unconventional way, and in a way that you know, very few people expected because of the way my career went. I won many different championships, but like I said, it was never in a straight path. It was just I was doing the best with the opportunities I had.
Yeah. That's why I say in the book that a peak performer is a flexible, versatile, creative solution designer, and that makes you a much better thinker in that way, no? you roll with the punches and you figure it out, no?
Yeah.
And so let's play with a metaphor. If you were a high performance car, which car would you be? And why, no?
Wow, that's if I was a high performance car, which car would I be?
What represents Pietro Fittipaldi?
That's very question. Let me think, because I almost have one in my head right now, but I don't know if it's it. I would say, I don't know why, but I would say like there's a very, you know, the Ford GT. It's a very special car that raced Le Mans and won Le Mans. I'd say like a Ford GT.
Oh yes.
I don't know why. Very I'm very like aggressive, and I'm in my head. I feel like I'm very tough with situations. That car looks a lot tougher than a Ferrari, or like a Lamborghini looks a bit tougher than a Ferrari, but like a Ford is like more muscle, more power. You know.
Yes. I have a German friend who owns one and drives it through Zurich.
You know what car I'm talking about?
Yes,
the one, the limited edition.
He bought one of those, and so everybody, when he parks in any street, people say like, "Is that that cannot be?" Yes, it is. It's
very One of my teammates that I raced in IndyCar, Sebastian Bourdais.
Yes.
He got, because at first they're difficult to get, right? You need to be on a list.
Yeah.
But because he was Ford GT throughout those years, they put him on the list, and he had to pay. He bought it, but he bought it at like the price that they were selling. It was like 250,000 euros or something, and he sold it in an auction last year for $1 million.
Wow. Yeah. It's good choice, Pietro. Good choice. You're gonna go up in value as well.
Yeah.
So I'd like to end today with words of wisdom, no, for all of us. But first, tell us about esports, because you and Enzo just won the world championship, basically, in esports, and you gained, and you showed me on your phone, you know, 250,000 fans, right, that were watching live. How does that work? How does that work for them?
Yeah, so we've been doing these Twitch streams. Twitch is like you do live streaming. You can stream in real life. You can do games as well. So me and my brother created this channel called Fittipaldi Brothers, and we started this channel throughout quarantine, which was March of 2020, because Formula One was, you know, they were doing some virtual races, and we were at home not doing much. So we bought 2 simulators. This is one of them. We have another one in Enzo's room, and we started streaming our racing. And over time, the channel started growing. And Formula One recently, 2 weeks ago, they did the first official Formula One virtual GP that they have done esports official championship, but this championship was utilizing they combined the esports drivers So the esports drivers for every team would qualify the cars,
Yeah.
and then the actual race drivers or junior drivers of a Formula One team or the reserve driver would race for the team. And me and Enzo raced for
Yeah.
Haas, and races, and we won the championship. So we officially became the first official Formula One virtual GP world champions.
Yes.
So we won that, and it was amazing. Enzo won the drivers' championship, and we won the team's championship. And yeah, the Twitch channel grew. The last stream we did of the race, Enzo, me and Enzo, we were both doing the stream, and it was the last race, and we were fighting for the championship versus Ferrari, and it was a very close battle. Ferrari were starting up front because their esports drivers qualified well. Unfortunately, ours didn't qualify well. We started in the back, and the pressure was high. And over a 4-hour stream of the race, we had over 250,000 people, unique, individual people watching us live. So it was like amazing. And we won the championship at the end.
Yeah, that's a big
So it was
stadium. That's that's
really
more than 2 football stadiums. Soccer.
yeah.
That's very good. Fantastic. So
But we continue to do sport. I enjoy it. I enjoy it even as a training. It's a good training.
yeah, I mean, I watch you race on ESPN when they were showing it, and you have to do a double take. It's so realistic, right?
Yeah. You don't even notice that it's
yeah,
that it's crazy.
it's fascinating. So we'll keep watching and training. And so, talking about training, I'd like to give some hints of the keys to personal breakthrough in sort of a rapid fire way. No? So, for example, what training habits are most useful to you and lead to success? That they're consistently, I can rely on this.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, you have to have discipline, because discipline is very important. I know a lot of people say it, but for me, I think discipline is important because it's very easy to start slacking off, especially, for example, if you start winning a lot of things and you're confident, you're starting to win, it's very easy to start slacking off. For sure, like over the off season, you can have a couple weeks, 1 or 2 weeks where you're more relaxed at home over Christmas and New Year's, where you're just family and you can be more relaxed. But it's very easy to start slacking on the discipline. I think discipline is very important with anything you do. For me, I'm the type of person every day in the morning, I cannot leave my room if my bed is undone. I got to do my bed every time in the morning, because that's like starts your making your bed in the morning is what starts your day. And I like starting off in the right foot. I like my room organized, so I always do my bed in the morning. That's something I keep as a form of discipline, to start the day off in the right foot. I always do my training even when I'm off season, not necessarily only for the racing, but because I enjoy doing it and it puts me in the right state of mind. What I need to do more is train earlier in the morning, because I think that is a lot better than training in the afternoon. I'm always training in the afternoon. There's a couple times in the week where I train in the morning, and that's so much better because you feel like you have much more energy throughout the day, and just mentally you feel a lot more I don't know, just a lot more on it than if you were training just after everything you've done throughout the day. You just train at the end. It's not ideal.
Now we might want to look deeper into that, the circadian aspect of that, no? For the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. That's something I'm slacking. I don't have the discipline to, when I in the morning, say I'm training. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, yeah, but I'll train later on in the day.
Yeah.
And I do. I end up training. I know that it's better for me if I train in the morning. I think the other thing too is like, setting goals and stuff is very important. Some short-term goals, long-term goals too. But for me, it's difficult to set long-term goals, and I never liked it that much because things are always changing all the time. So sometimes you set a goal that you're trying to do, but then one thing leads to another, and your career path or something is looking a bit different. So I always set short-term goals, for me personally, but for me in my professional way as well. When I'm driving, things I know that I can improve on. For for example, like if I know when I finish a race weekend, I do my report that I send to the team. I also do a personal report for myself where I know for my next race weekend, I need to work on my pit stops, the way I pit in.
Right.
I need to work on starts. I need to work on the first couple laps after the start of the race where I'm not pushing hard enough or I'm pushing too hard. So those are things that I like to set in terms of short-term goals from one race to another.
Yeah.
And I write what type of training, if it's gym in the
Yes.
gym. Yeah, so the thing I do, especially when I'm home, is gym training. I do a lot of strength training because some of the cars we drive have the steering wheel is very heavy. It doesn't have power steering. The Formula One does have power steering, so it's light. But for example, an Indy car doesn't, so it's very heavy. You know, so I tend to train once a day for about an hour 15, and I do strength training. But at the same time, I work on doing strength training with a high heart rate.
Yeah.
So I might add in some core workout or get on the bike for a minute in between sets to keep my heart rate up, to simulate like I'm driving the car and doing things that require physical strength. So when I push weights, I'm doing it at a high heart rate, which simulates the car better.
Yeah. And favorite circuit?
Yeah, favorite circuit, I would say Spa. That's the track I had my accident, but it's still my favorite circuit. It's such a smooth track, so much rhythm and stuff.
Yeah.
The momentum is great. So for me, that's my favorite circuit. Well, I think will always be.
Yes. Last question, Pietro. What word of advice would you give people who want to be mentally tough in business and life?
I think for me, the main thing is perseverance. You need to always believe that you need to keep persevering, no matter how big the adversity is. You always have to keep going, no matter what. Doesn't matter how tough the things are getting. If you lose a job or something, or if you lose an opportunity, or you don't get that deal you wanted to get, there's always the next thing. So you've always got to keep chasing the next thing. Always persevere, because at the end, there is going to be an end result, even if it's hard to see it. And maybe the end result you don't understand what it is, but it's going to come. I think perseverance is something that's very important. Some big lesson that I learned as well throughout the past couple years. And always keep working on yourself. There's always things that you can get better. It's very important to be confident as well. For me, confidence, in yourself, plays a lot in straight into performance when I'm driving. If you're not confident in yourself, then when I drive a race car, I know that I won't be performing at my best. You have to have confidence in what you're doing. And I think, how to build confidence. Those are things that we worked on together. And I'm not saying confidence like socially. I'm saying confidence in what you're doing exactly. Confidence driving a race car, confidence when you're having a meeting, confidence in yourself to be able to get, your work done, or to be able to perform at your best with your job. So I think that's very important. Confidence sets the right tone for you in your head, and you start making better decisions that way, I think.
Yeah. Last of the last, based on what you just said.
Yeah.
What keeps it joyful for you? What keeps the desire alive? Especially because essentially things might not go well, no? So from today to tomorrow morning, no? What has helped you focus? How do you focus to keep things joyful?
No, for me, what keeps me focused and keeps me looking at the next thing is it's always the next race. That's what gives me joy.
Yes.
Honestly, it's crazy. And I wouldn't even say that I'm the type of guy that likes driving cars just to drive. For example, if there was no competition in racing and it was just to drive a car and just enjoy it, I enjoy it. For sure, I enjoy driving a Formula One car. But let's say any other car, I don't really enjoy. I wouldn't just like to go out just to drive and make laps. What I enjoy is competition.
Right.
And I learned that as a kid, because I love playing soccer. I love playing basketball. I used to play as well. But I love competition, and what I was really good at was racing cars. So for me, what gives me the joy is going to the next race.
Right.
But when I go test, improving the car and improving myself to be better in the next race, because what gives me joy is to compete and to compete at a high level and to win races.
Yes, yes. So we can make our own challenges and life experiments and try different things, because one might not be working, but we can get excited about the other thing that we're doing, right? To feel that feeling. Fantastic. Great.
I saw someone sent there saying congratulations. I wanted to say thank you. The message disappeared. It's here. It's Lawrence.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
Very cool.
Thank you, Pietro. Where can people find you and find the Fittipaldi Brothers channel and follow you?
Yeah, so on Twitch, we have our Fittipaldi Brothers channel. That's the name, Fittipaldi Brothers. On Instagram, you can find me, Pietro Fittipaldi, as well. The username is pfitty, P-I-F-I-T-T-I. We have a YouTube channel as well called Fittipaldi Brothers. You can follow my brother also on Twitter, on Instagram. His is Enzo Fittipaldi or Enzo Fitti. And yeah,
talk with Enzo soon.
Yeah, talk with Enzo. Carlos has been helping a lot with Enzo as well. And Carlos, I just want to take this time to thank you for all the help over the last couple of years. Since we started in 2017, I think I improved a lot as a person, as a driver, and we accomplished many things together. It's been crazy, the ride we've had. There were many doubts throughout the way as well, if I was going to reach my ultimate goal, but we did at the end. We kept pushing, and we persevered, and the story keeps going. It doesn't end here, so we keep working, and every year we keep going. We keep getting to bigger things and to bigger goals. So I'm very happy about that, and thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you for your trust, and we live in chapters and next race.
Yeah, chapters now. Chapter.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.